Welcome to the second, third. I've done so many shows with the 3 parts now, and I still haven't found a way to make that smooth.
Still trips you up. The middle part. Yeah.
The middle part, I like that.
Act 2.
The year is 485. The time is the Pentecostal feast, which, despite not being Christians, you are, of course, invited to. Court is at Leicester in Lindsay. You find yourself in the presence of Sir Maddox, son of Uther, and Duke Lucius of Caercullan. Perhaps most important at this court is a discussion about the 29 legates of colleges. These are the voters who may choose the High King of Britain. King Uther is not currently looking to put himself up, as far as anyone knows, but there is much discussion that there will be such a vote at some point, and it sounds on the face of it as if he does not have the votes.
So is Maddox acknowledged as Uther's heir at this point in time?
I believe he is simply Sir Maddox at the moment. It is, however, recognized that he is a very important aide of Uther.
Okay, but he's not acknowledged.
He's not Prince Maddox yet.
No, okay.
That said, Glimo, you have not done this before, so you should know. There are several parts to these Pentecostal feasts. There will pretty much be one every year, and it has some things that basically never change. There will be a royal conversation, which means that if you want to approach Uther, he will have a prepared statement for you. Now, essentially, all of Uther's aides and Uther himself have things they want to tell all of the knights of this land, but it's really hard to disseminate information. As we've just established, you are the only person on this camera screen right now who has a group to do that for you. And their accuracy in disseminating what you want is already quite questionable. Uther and his aides prepare statements, which they then read out to those who approach them, essentially. If you can get in good with one of them, perhaps they will give you more nuanced conversation. But overall, there are several members of Uther's court who you should keep an eye on. Of course, the king, Sir Brastius, for information about the inner workings of the court, Sir Maddox, for matters of war and state, Merlin the Druid, for guidance, wisdom, and magic, and Duke Ulfius for diplomatic information about what is happening outside of Logres, aka he's the Secretary of State.
Sorry, who was that last name?
Duke Ulfius. If you want to gossip around with maidservants or pages and the like, every year there is often such a gossip to be had as well.
I will be 100% doing that.
Well, let us introduce the area. Rather than a single pig with an apple in its mouth and some scones with questionable jams and jellies, you find yourself at an amazing table laid out with cooled pitchers of alcohols from all across Britain, where knights have brought to share in the feast and offer as tribute to their lord the many and varied brews of their land. Cheese is served with abundance. Breads are crusty on the outside and soft on the inside. Meats flow freely as game which has been hunted in the king's forest is offered here again as tribute. Whether you would like feather fowl, meat of the boar, or something taken from the humble cow, you will find here at the Pentecostal feast exactly what you are looking for. Conversation abounds. Knights from all across the land who are famous for what they do have found themselves here, and perhaps most importantly, Each of you are famous enough to be recognized by your peers. I ask of you, what would you like to do while you are here?
So it's been, what, 3 months since the last scene?
Yes.
Have my troubadours had time to come back with any hot goss yet?
I feel like you can meet them here. If you would like to have a conversation with Andre the Younger here at this court.
I would.
Roll a d20 for me real quick.
11.
The goss is hot. Andre the Younger spills the tea, and I don't mean the one on the table. Across the lands that he has passed through, there are many rumors about Sir Blaine's, the steward of Levkemagus. You would know that this man is essentially the sworn enemy of your Earl. He once pursued the Earl's wife, and your troop has heard many stories that they did not help spread, but they heard it from the peasants, that he is planning incursions into the lands of Salisbury in retaliation for insults, specifically on manors to the eastern part of the land that borders them. So manors that are on the eastern side may be subject to attacks. Not now, not during Uther's peace, but when no one is looking, it could be Silchester rises and Levkemagus takes its revenge. They have found a possible match for you. A lady by the name of Peony. Her father is offering a fairly poor dowry, and they speak a story of desperation. She is known not for her beauty or cunning, but for her flatulence and occasional falling into what we would call panic attacks, but have no medication or solution at this time, and so are simply considered seizures or fits. That's what they got for you so far. It's only been 3 months.
No worries.
They want to know if they should take back like a positive for Lady Peony. Their description of you to her, you are, 2 inches taller with 30 extra pounds of muscle, rippling, shirtless horse rides, that sort of thing. They're your hype man.
I appreciate the intelligence on Sir Blaine, and I will make sure this reaches the proper ears. But
it is but the gossip of peasants, my lord.
Understood, and I appreciate you passing it on to me. As for the good lady, well, I somehow thought that you'd find something better than...
It's been 3 months.
Yeah, no worries.
We did not
Keep
think
looking.
you wanted a match from Silchester, or specifically from Levkemagus, which is exactly where the road runs through.
I appreciate your discretion there.
Although, if you are looking for a match from Silchester, on our way back down, we can put the word out.
I feel like that would get me crosswise with my liege lord.
He married someone from Silchester. There are many tales about sleeping with the enemy, good knight.
Perhaps you can regale me with them after some feasting.
Perhaps. I would say this, though. I would not want to be from Cholderton or Broughton come the winter.
Oh?
The easternmost manors of Salisbury.
because of Silchester's uprising.
Uprising is such a treasonous word, my lord. Retaliation for slights is a well-accepted policy.
Mm-hmm.
I would remind you that we are in the king's presence. There are thousands of knights here. Such loose talk cannot be interpreted well.
I thought we were just speaking of a play that you were putting on.
Of course. Andre the Younger is amazing at writing plays. He has now added writing. Listen, this is a new scam for him, right? You've given him the idea now to just be like, all right, we could talk about anything, and then we could just say it's a play we're working on.
It's a book I'm writing.
It's a book about how if I killed my wife, this would be how I did it. I think there are some people who are too young to get that reference.
Yeah, I get it.
Amazing. The guy who isn't even from America got it. Shall we move to the main feast then?
Yeah, well, I'm certainly taking the option of gossiping with the small folk and the service. I want to get a what's going on in court, who's who.
And I would go talk to probably Sir Madoc and Ulfius if I can.
Okay.
Squeeze both of those in.
Would you like an intrigue roll?
For the gossip, no. There are intrigue. So I mean, again, you've run great Pendragon campaigns, so I know I could say this to you already. There are intrigue specific pieces of news every year. Those will require intrigue rolls. If you're
I'm working my way.
If you're just getting if you're getting the weak tea from around the castle that requires no intrigue, you can just absorb this by paying attention while walking around.
But I will go as far eventually as getting the intrigue roll too, though. So I'm trying to absorb everything.
So I feel like you're passing through an area where a page is talking with two women who are knitting. It's so terrible. I heard that 1,000 Saxons landed to reinforce King Hengest. It's the devil's son, that's for sure. Oh, dearie, I'll trust Prince Madoc to take care of us. He's handsome enough, and he talks boldly enough. But the truth will depend on how he fares in battle, of course. And the second woman is just like, well, I'll say it's too bad he's illegitimate. No bastard will automatically inherit. It'll be difficult, you can be sure, unless his glory is truly great when the old king dies. Listen, darlings, it'll take something monstrous to get rid of tough King Uther. Madoc will have to be waiting a long time for any inheritance. The page is like, but don't you think it's a bad look to talk that way? So did you know that Merlin has gone away? Well, he comes and goes as he will. Yes, but he is gone again, and at such a time. You go to speak with Prince Madoc?
I do.
You are a fresh knight. Your honor may be great, but your glory is quite low. Mm-hmm. And if there's one thing the British really love, it's queuing and re-queuing. You find yourself bumped back and bumped back and bumped back. After several hours, you find your way to a table with Madoc. He offers for you to sit with him, and you realize this conversation may take a few minutes. He has got... you could tell that people are bringing fresh food in front of him. He'll take a bite from it and then offer you to take some. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna be here, so he's just eating one piece so
small
that
bite.
You'll feel comfortable eating in front of him. But if he eats a lot, then he won't be able to eat in the future. So he's just taking continuous small bites.
He's like Chris Pratt just eating 15 hamburgers on the set of Parks and Rec.
Madoc takes a strip of chicken and stuffs it in his mouth and around it says, "Your name."
Sir Kendric de Pitton of Salisbury.
Your father?
Sir Ernan de Pitton.
I have heard that you are a man well known for his pursuit of the truth.
That is true.
Follow the king's laws well.
I do my best.
Spies say another Saxon army has landed in the east. Is there no end to these devils? His name is Aethelswith, but we don't know of his plans. The king has ordered Duke Lucius of Caercullen, and he gestures to Duke Lucius of Caercullen across the room, to be ready. But our army isn't going to be distracted. We're going to attack King Ael as we've planned, even though certain of our cowardly vassals are not reporting. Disloyal bastards, that's what they are. Caercullen won't be there, but that's at the king's order. But that Cornwall, he's the worst of the lot. Keep your sword at your side, your horse at the ready. The army will assemble at Silchester.
The swords of Salisbury will be there.
Do you account for the swords of Salisbury, Sir Knight?
I do not, but I ride alongside Earl Roderick, and he is loyal to the king.
True enough. He sends you away and then repeats his dialogue to the next person in line. And I want to be clear, this is a very real thing that actually happened because, you know, you could get information secondhand, but it wouldn't be trustworthy. So having a person repeat the same conversation over and over, almost like a tweet. He's retweeting. You also wanted to speak with
Orpheus.
It's another long wait. We're gonna cut to somebody else while you're in line.
Yeah.
Herawd? Herawd?
Probably not at this party, but I'm leaving a note for myself in here and hoping to not forget it Dunama style. Before we all head back, he will want to have a word with Roderick's Master of Arms to
The Castellan?
Yeah.
Okay.
To tell him about the rumors about Sir Blaine.
Okay. That is Sir Elid, the man who trained you, just as a reminder. Okay. Owain, what do you got?
I was looking to move my way up the social strata in terms of gathering intrigue about what is going on in court and the like.
Please make your intrigue roll.
Oh no. 19 over 10.
Oh, look at all the 19s tonight.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them.
Tut.
You know what? So we're allowed one reroll per year, aren't we?
That is true. GrimDarkJames, I do offer one annual reroll in the year of 2023. Would you like to use it at this moment?
So my sorry, I thought it was like one Pendragon year. Sorry, okay, no, disregard.
Oh wait, sorry, what?
Some reason I thought we'd worked out something about doing a single reroll per Pendragon year.
I believe it is if your child would be in mortal peril, you can reroll while allowing yourself to become older.
Aged.
Yeah, aged.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm.
Would you like to use your annuity?
No. That's fine. I will accept my failure.
You collect some intrigue. What you hear about is discussions of dalliances and affairs from all across Britain. It is dull, boring tripe that one might find on the front pages of magazines in the checkout aisle at a grocery store.
Yeah,
The kind of thing
there's-
that might entertain the common folk of this era, but
There's a publication in the UK called Hello, which is exactly that. It's their typical what do you call it? Rag.
yes, it is indeed rag.
Yeah.
Such stories, whether they hold interest in you or not,
tabloid.
are not
Tabloids, yeah.
indeed the news that you perhaps might be hoping for.
So what I am interested in specifically, though, is there's obviously there's bad blood between Silchester and Salisbury.
Indeed.
And I don't think, but I guess I'm a landed knight of Salisbury. Whether or not trying to marry a lady from Silchester to try and help build some bridges would help or not, or whether I'm too low on the social strata for that to even matter.
In a few thousand years, a man who lives in Stratford-upon-Avon will write a story just like this. Which I believe isn't too far north of your manor, actually.
Yeah.
At this time, you're not sure. Such diplomatic pursuits are outside of your realm of experience right now. That said, romance allows one to ignore many established conventions. If you were to truly and reciprocate love from someone in Silchester or Levkemagus, which is a big city in Silchester. I realize I haven't actually outlined that yet. Levkemagus is basically the capital of Silchester. Except Silchester is the capital of Silchester. Levkemagus is the other big city there.
But it's like Sarum is the capital of Salisbury, even though Salisbury is a town within Salisbury.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's like yeah.
Yeah, it's a castle. The castle where the Duke is ensconced.
Yes. Levkemagus is quite important, and as we know, is very close to Camelot eventually. So it's strategically important. That said, if you were to fall in love from someone from there, conventions may be broken to allow such courtly love to take place. But again, your intrigue roll is shit, and you do not have enough experience in these matters yet to know. You could certainly
my question
out...
wasn't to do with. My question wasn't to do with romance; it was to do with political expediency. So I don't think that I'm pursuing a romantic angle here. I think that I was just investigating whether there was a benefit for all type angle. But I'm not going to try and force romance at a. I
love this angle, and I feel like it's daunted specifically because extremely minor border skirmish between Levkemagus and Sarum is totally meaningless to 99% of the knights that are at this gathering. And so you're like, tell me more! How can I help resolve this ages-old problem? And they're just like, okay, all right. Let's get back to talking about Saxons. Glimo, what do you got before I go back to Spoon standing in line?
I think, like Spoon, I will stand in line, but I will stand in line for Rathus, since we haven't done him yet.
Sorry, Brassius?
Brassius, yes.
Yes, okay. So that is the inner workings of the court. He is not present at this particular feast.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
I know. I specifically outlined him for you.
You did?
Not all of them are present at every...
Yeah.
Okay.
He is an important member of the court, though.
Indeed. Is there something else you'd like to do? Are you looking for information about the inner working of the court?
Yes.
Make an intrigue roll.
Gonna
I love
be...
that the suspicious guy is not very good at intrigue. Oh, nope. Okay.
Not as bad as some of my rolls, but...
For the folks at home, it's a 16 needing a 5.
No.
I feel like this is one of those I hate to say it, but you know, like when teenagers are like, "That's right, I've read part of Machiavelli. I know high level court intrigue." You like insert yourself into a conversation and you get Ivanka out of it. You know what I mean? You're like you're speaking with a duke and like two barons, and you insert yourself and you're like nodding, and they like move the conversation away from you. Not a critical failure, but you do not pick up very much information. Probably what both you and Owain discover is that all across the land, many people are concerned about the lack of Merlin. He comes and goes as he pleases, but he has recently been something of a fixture in the court. And his disappearance either means that he did something big, or he's had a break with the king. Neither of which is probably good news. You have 2 hours later. The feast, the general part of the feast is winding down, and that wild ass shit where knights start pairing themselves off to make bastards with maidservants is beginning. Finally made your way forward.
It's just the stage crew like cleaning up after the band.
And Orpheus.
Yeah.
We are going to attack the Saxons under King Ael. We will march out as soon as the roads are clear, with whatever troops are mustered. We do not need those errant nobles. No doubt they too are under attack from the Saxons, who must have emptied their lands to all come over here. He looks behind you and he says, "You're a big guy, but there's no one else behind you, right?"
No, my lord. I believe I am the last.
Sit down. Have a drink with me.
Of course.
Is there any further conversation you want to have with Orpheus? Or you just want to enjoy idle chatter and a drink with the guy whose job is to say, "Welcome to Cornelia," all day long?
Yeah, I'll just shoot the shit with Duke Orpheus for a little while.
All right. He tells you a tale about one time that he caught Uther slipping, pissing. He was just like, "One time I saw King Uther's dick. He is just, I walked around a tree. He is just pissing out in the open. You know, normally with a man, you pull up to a bush, you pull up to a tree. I walked around the tree after I was done. Uther's in the middle of the field, and he turned towards me full stream."
One of those guys like this, as he was.
That's the royal news you get from Orpheus.
I will swap the tale of the Bear of Ember with him.
Ah, the tale of the Bear of Ember. Your reputation spreads to one person. I feel like this is a good summation to this particular feast.
I think that Owain will join those pairing off as well. He'll try and find somebody to.
Oh,
yeah. So,
whoa!
Yeah. It's not about love. It's
Scandalous.
about keeping warm that night.
Yeah. Please roll flirting for me, my man.
All right.
Keeping warm that night.
Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to keep it PG. Even though you
so close.
So here's the thing. You do find, I mean, listen, it's a big feast. You definitely find a woman to go with. It's just complicated. It's like, I think in the morning, you feel like you should be sneaking out of your quarters, sort of deal. I don't want to go into details, but you're like, am I doing the walk of shame after this? Like, are you, this will come up in the winter phase, but just like Spoon preempting giving himself a bonus to future talking to or Roderick rolls, are you interested in keeping any women?
No, I'm not looking to we're
Not
in a
looking to
different
gain
place.
a long-term relationship with this woman.
No,
though.
that's right. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind rolling if there's a bastard child in the winter phase, but I'm not looking to.
I mean, I
I
believe having a bastard child requires you, by honor, to keep the mother as a kept woman.
Yeah, but you don't
You
know
have to
that
pay
until
for them. Yes.
you have to wait until you find that out 9 months later.
Yes. So what I'm saying is this? So okay, you are looking to see whether or not she might get pregnant. Then
It's not something that Owain's thinking about. I don't care as a player or
Okay.
as a character what happens.
just gonna make a note here. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do the kids call it nowadays? Pregnante or something? I don't speak Gen Z. Uther summons his army to meet in the city of Salisbury in the early summer, not in Silchester, which some perceive to be a slight. Earl Roderick comes with his knights, including all of you. The Earl has assigned you to a unit led by Sir Amig.
Before that, I would have given the heads up to Elad about.
Yes, it is
Yes.
noted. It is noted.
Okay.
You are being led by Sir Amig, who all of you have seen before. He was the injured knight who briefly spoke with Sir Elad on the training field the day you were knighted. He is a banneret knight, and he brings with him 6 vassal knights, which is considerable. He recently has been gifted a castle at Tillshead and given the specific charge of hunting down witches and monsters in the forests near Tillshead. The 3 of you find yourself joining the 7 of them before the ride east to go meet the Saxons at Sussex. Sir Amig basically just like lays it out for you guys. He's by this big fire that a large pot is hanging over. He has a huge camp of followers. You know, he's got 6 vassal knights. He's got his wife and some children, lots of retainers, and he basically just meets with the 3 of you, takes a power stance. You could tell he's really trying to hold it despite a clearly injured knee, and he just says, I've seen the 3 of you fight. I've seen the 3 of you train. I have to say that I don't think that you'll slow us down or be a burden in any way. But if you want to be in my unit, you have to pay the tribute tax. Something goes in the pot. And you can see his vassal knights are coming up, and they've got like either some game or like tomatoes are still considered a horrendous poison at this time. You know, they throw vegetables in a pot or something. Yeah, carrots,
root vegetables,
not potatoes, because that's America.
Yeah.
It won't be discovered for about 1,000 years. But yeah,
Turnips,
wild onions and garlic, the traveler's friend. He just makes sure that you know that if you're gonna ride with him and his squad, you help make the soup. You put whatever you want in it, and you'll be judged for what you put in there.
okay.
Can I hunt small game with my falcon Joffrey?
Absolutely. Make a falconry roll.
Oh my god!
Incredible.
I can't
so
find a roll
close.
tonight.
So close.
Joffrey brings back 1 rabbit leg that is clearly vultured away from a already dead rabbit that is partially digested. Joffrey lands on your, leather glove and looks at you and drops essentially like a 2-thumb long bone into your hand and looks at you as if he's done a good job. What's the reward?
Good job, Joffrey.
He moves over twice down your arm and like shoulder checks you. Do you want to add this offering to the pot?
I feel like I've got to do something better than this, but I don't know what else.
If you want to say that you brought provisions from home, I mean, you're about to go on a campaign, so.
Oh, okay. Yes, then in that case, I will have brought.
I feel like several of his banner knights burst out in laughter as you go to a larder to get something rather than this rabbit.
I mean, this tiny little cube, yeah.
Owain?
I would like to produce and break up a loaf of crusty bread into the pot.
Into the pot. Interesting. I feel like you're about to drop it into the pot, and Amig grabs your wrists and says, "Not into the pot. We'll serve the soup out of the bread." And he sets his servants out to making bread bowls. And then
I was trying to make croutons.
The part that gets pulled out is being thrown in to make croutons.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Croutons. See, what the folks at home don't know is that this show is secretly sponsored by every supermarket around the world, and we're intentionally trying to make you hungry by having 3 separate eating seats. We're sponsored by Big Crouton.
I ate a sandwich on camera before as well. So.
Spoon, what does Kendric have to offer the pot?
Let's see. I think he reaches into his bag and pulls out like an onion, like slices it up and drops it into the pot.
Okay. Amig turns to look at each of you. His hair is thinning. Probably is nowhere near as strong as he was in his youth, but he still seems hardened, muscle packed on top of it. Gives each of you a strong look in the eye and says, "First battle for each of you."
Yes.
Aye, sir.
Stay with the troop. Stay on your horse if you can. Go in with lances at the beginning. Use what you have to. If you're a swordsman, do the sword. Some people like two-handed iron hammers, I hear. If you don't have one, you might find one by the end of this battle if we rout the Saxons. Keep your wits about you. No fight can truly be said to be easy. We're always putting our lives on the line. But King Uther is a good commander. We've got the better troops. We're more prepared. Stay on your horse. Get some rest. Take a shit before we move out tomorrow. Why are you laughing at that?
It's the pre-battle shit. It's the pre-game shit. Most athletes will swear by it.
Gotta empty it out, man.
Yeah.
You don't want a hard ride 15 miles on a horse before a battle on a full rectum. Okay, you just want to get it out there. Okay,
I remember when your channel had rules, Arthur. And
I did have rules. No pissing and no shitting.
We've broken both of those
in the last half an hour.
Yeah, but it's time period appropriate. You're not going to see pissing and shitting on the Stars Without Numbers show, that's for sure. I say that now. I'm definitely going to regret that. Is there anything any of you want to do before the Battle of Mere Crit Creek?
I think the three of us, because I'm assuming that these other nights are Christian nights, are they?
They are.
So do the three of us want to, we go and do a separate thing before the battle to our gods?
Yeah, like a pagan ritual.
Yeah.
Sure.
Call the quarters. Ask for a blessing from the nature.
Okay. You get some askance looks at this, and when you return, one of the knights pulls you aside and lets you know that, and this is Sir Baradin. He lets you know that pagan rituals before combat are kind of looked askance here, because the Saxons perform powerful pagan sacrifices. He looks at all of you and says, "There are warriors among their ranks driven mad by the power of their god Wotan. They offer a sacrifice old men with one eyes to Wotan, and in return gain otherworldly strength, stronger than giants. Berserkers, we call them. Bear-sarkers in their language. Driven insane, wielding huge axes."
I know, isn't it awesome?
Baradin chuckles and says, "I know you aren't sacrificing people out in the woods to your nature spirits or whatever. I feel like it's more important that you know what we're going up against tomorrow. It's pretty unlikely we'll face any berserkers, but if we do, I want you to hide behind your shields. Don't feel that you need to engage them in combat. They will kill you."
Thank you.
This is not the most honorable advice you've ever been given from a knight. Some would feel that they could call him out if they wish to.
I think Sir Kendric will just say, "Our gods are not their gods," and whatever strength that they think they have been granted will be false. And I mean, Sir Kendrick's a big motherfucker too.
We cut to I'm just gonna go anachronistic. It is the line of the 10 of you on the left wing of the battle, Earl Roderick commanding part of the troop, with Sir Amig. He's not in the first rank, but Owner of a Lonely Heart's intros playing as like the 10 of you with your lances out, bobbing up and down. Because you are mounted, remember that you get a +5 modifier to any combat skill that you have, and your enemies, unless they are wielding great spears, will get a -5 to their skill to hit you. So you have a line of steel coming towards you. Let me ask this. Do all of you want to participate in the first charge? Wow,
Yes.
you can hit hella hard during the first charge. You are left open to a counter ranged attack. If the opponents that I have randomly rolled up are ranged, they will freely get to hit you and may either knock you off your horse or kill your horse before you ever get here. If you do not lance charge and you go defensive, you can avoid that, but you will fall behind in the ranks. I heard 3 yeses though, so let's just go with it.
I think also I have to. I've got over 16 hate Saxons, so I think I have to roll the first round.
Okay. Make whatever preparatory rolls you feel you need to. If you want to call on something, let me know. And if not, make your lance charge roll.
Okay. Well, I have to passion first.
I was gonna say, is it worth doing passions? Players who've played this before.
You'll be rocking a
I don't
plus
know.
10 to that, so it'll be to Lance for the rest of the battle. So if you have a good spear skill, you'll be able to continue using it. If your spear, so you use Lance when you're charging in like this, but when you're stuck in battle, it's then spear. So if your spear is not good, you may want to wait.
Okay.
I have to do it anyway, so it's not an option for me.
Yeah, because because your value is high enough that it's mandatory.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't believe Glimo's, because I only have a 13 haste.
I have a
So
14.
it's 16 or higher, you have to roll it in
Yep.
the first round of
Okay.
combat.
Well,
Why
you
is
nailed it.
your threshold 20 then?
Because I have 21. So it translates to a D20 plus
Jesus.
1. So I rolled a 6 plus 1.
James, calm
Yeah.
down.
Owain fucking hates Saxons.
Odor of a Lonely Heart's playing with that like solo guitar, and Owain just like Super Saiyan waves coming off of him.
Yeah,
He's
because
got
that will give him let's see, was that just regular
Plus 10.
successes.
Yeah.
it'll
Well,
be
in the new passion rules, it's still just a plus 5.
It's plus 5, yeah. It'll be
Is
plus
it?
10 if I critical.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, let me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pin the new passion rules in our chat. In cast chat.
5.2, you're always messing with me. That said, it does mean that when you fail, you don't have to rip your clothes off and wander into the woods. So
Well, you do if the passion's that high, though. Like,
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
only,
if you fumble, yeah.
Yeah.
You literally can't fumble though, so you're good.
Yeah.
No, if nobody else is impassioned, please make your lance attacks. I will then, once I've seen your successes, make my spear rolls. You are facing Saxon corals with spears. Not great spears. They will be at the mercy of your charge.
Not great showings from us,
No.
But all successes. 6,
Yeah,
2,
but-
and 6.
But they're quite beatable successes, though. And it's the high roll wins.
They will get shield versus Sir Owain, versus Sir Kendric and Sir Herawd. You get full blast on them, no shield. All of you get to roll lance damage for your chargers if that's higher than what your normal damage is.
Terrible roll.
So
1,
it's-
3, 5, 1, 3, 4.
So this
So
is
if
just
you
the
go down
horse
to your-
damage.
Yeah, your horses, it should be 66 for your charger.
Okay, and no modifiers on it.
Correct.
Bam,
Ooh, I
bam.
think is it evens or odds that breaks the lance?
It's a damage roll or the attack roll that breaks the lance?
It's damage roll that breaks the
Damage
lance.
roll,
It's
okay, yeah.
odds.
Yeah.
So anyone that did roll odds, so the 17 and 23, both of your lances will break. Make sure that's accounted for underneath your equipment, that you're down 1 lance or spear.
And they get replaced after the battle, don't they?
Yes, but you do not have them for the rest of the battle.
Yeah. So I've got one more. I think we'll start with 2.
Yep.
So,
I need to see if you guys killed anybody. You dealt a considerable but not fantastic amount of damage. It used to be that these were in the like NPC bad guy section.
yeah, it's not great with the
Yeah.
you're using the like the random opponent chart, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
So it should have a major wound. No, you're right. It doesn't show it there. It does. It does in
but
the
it did back in the
Book of
old
Battle.
day.
Yeah, Book of
Yeah.
Battle has the major wound level in it. I mean, it's kind of relevant because it doesn't really matter. Regardless,
I mean, if
other
you
than for story
it does
purposes.
if you kill your opponent, it makes a difference. Let's see here. So the wounding isn't what I'm worried about. I'm worried about if you kill them or not on the first charge, and for all future battles. None of you have dealt enough damage to kill any of them, unfortunately.
Like I think, yeah, Glimo and I were probably close-ish, but not enough.
So each of you have received a success. So to format this out for everyone, each round of combat that you are engaged in, a new opponent will be rolled. Special opponents, and there was a special opponent rolled, you can try to encourage your unit to engage in the combat longer if you'd like to. We're not going to use the full rules of battle, but if you, during your special opponent, you would like to extend it for a greater chance at glory, you can. Otherwise, each round it will be noted whether you've had a critical success, failure, or fumble, and those each round will determine the amount of glory you get at the end of combat. That said, you are all now stuck in. What weapon would you like to use? We
need to do a squire roll, don't we, to see whether the squire can take an action?
This is abstract.
Okay.
So like each of these next combats will take place an hour after the last one. Okay. A squire roll would be if you were stuck in fighting that core that you just hit, you would need to call a squire in to bring you a new weapon. I hate to bring back the shitting thing, but you fight on the front line for 10-15 minutes, you go back, you have somebody else take your place, you get some water, you have someone remove the ass piece off of your armor, you take a shit and you piss, and then it's put back on, and then you ride back in there. You know what I mean? Okay. It is a long time between these combat rounds, which again, each takes an hour. So you can make a decision as to what weapon you want to use when you go back in, but there isn't going to be a lance charge this time around. If you go into battle using a lance, you'll be rolling spear.
Yeah, so I'll stick with spear for now.
Okay.
I will switch to sword.
Sword. Good choice.
I'll also switch to sword.
Very well.
Actually, I will go sword. I'll go sword too, sorry.
Okay. You will lose your bonus for passion.
Yeah.
But you still get your +5, -5. The next round, you are facing another set of Corals. These are just armed Saxon peasants. Each of them has a spear and a shield. They will resist you. Please make your all three of you are using sword.
Can I do my passion now?
Absolutely. Which passion would you like to call upon?
8 Saxons.
Yes, please do. Yep. Okay. Take a +10.
+5.
+5. Damn it. I'm still stuck in my old ways. This is not a bad start, though. This is not a bad start. I'm looking at a success for Owain. I'm looking at another success for Sir Herawd.
Hey. I should actually been +10. Looking at Spoon's chart, a success on an exalted passion is actually a +10. So I would have been +10 on the previous.
Would not have made a difference, but sure.
Exalted passions are 20+, though.
Yeah, I'm 21.
He has a 21.
Are you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I was thinking you were 16 through 19.
No. So I should be sticking with the spear then. I'm actually better with the spear.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll go back to spear next round.
Okay. Speaking of, all of you can roll. All of you can check both sword and spear right now, because you have all succeeded at both. Success. I have a -5. Jeez. Being mounted with heavy armor sure is a huge bonus. One success that will not block, so they get their shield versus Sir Owain. The rest of you are completely unchallenged. You can roll, and their shield will not reduce your damage.
Yeah, I did more damage than my horse could.
What's
So it'll be in the main center column under attributes. You roll your damage because now we're swinging with the strength of our arms rather than the strength of our horse.
Thank you.
You should be rolling with the strength of our hearts. 19, 23, and 19 damage. Nothing to kill, but enough to majorly injure all three of them. As, again, this does not represent you fighting one single guy. It is fighting several people over the course of 15 minutes. You leave a trail of injured men in your wake. It is at this point that the three of you and your 7 brethren find themselves facing down against a natural 20 roll on the Saxon chart.
Which means Rotan's men.
A line of berserkers wielding great axes. Very clearly. Now, I've said that Super Saiyan bullshit so far. Real magic is coming off of them. Their tattoos radiate with snakish purple mist. The berserkers charge your line.
I have 10 ranks in religion pagan. Can I do anything to help us here?
No.
Okay.
You can identify what god they have been sacrificed to. But these guys are empowered with magic, and knowing is not half the battle in stopping their magic.
Okay.
We will find out more when we return, however, about this particular battle, because we will face the berserkers after our break. So we'll see you in 3 minutes. Get fucked, YouTube. It's been a while since I've done this.